Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another Saturday night. And that's about as good as it's going to get. All right, let's see if this is going to work. Live chat. And we will find out. So we've already got a thumbs up, which is awesome. Thank you for that. Let's see. Let me make a quick post. Well, I'll have to take a picture. Use that. And I'm going to have to let the dog in. Hey, what's going on, K-Man? I do see your chat, so good. Good. Come on. I didn't know she let you out. Come on. All right. Watch yourself. Let me make a quick post about being live at this very second. Grab a link. Share. Copy link. Nope, I'm good. Okay. Good. Oh, excuse me. Alright. Well, I guess instead of just looking at a case that's not moving, I'll flip that around and you can look at my ugly mug. Got a pack of coffee. Cafe con leche instant artificially flavored coffee beverage mix. Don't know where that came from. Okay, select a photo. Next. I'm not gonna get in depth with it. Just gonna throw a link up. All right, so I skipped a week. How's everybody been? How's everybody been surviving over the past couple weeks? Let's see. Okay, got it. Wait a minute. I don't think I did that right. Oh, yeah, I did. Okay, cool. Cool beans. Tonight is the 2019 case. 71st day of 2019. I don't remember even getting this. I don't know where it came from. I don't remember, which is weird because like I can look through my things and I remember getting like everything, at least something. I can remember mainly something about it. Okay, this is weird. I can't see any of your chat. Let me show you guys what's going on here. Flip the camera around. This is what the chat looks like to me right now. It's all like overlapped, and I mean, I literally can't read it. I can read sometimes parts of the end of a sentence. Man. Maybe if I... No, that just made it worse. Seriously. Great. Yeah, it just got worse, believe it or not. Let me show you what it looks like now. So when I did that, it added an extra layer on top because I switched from live to top chat. So what it did was just added another. This is YouTube's platform. There's an issue with YouTube's platform. So the only option that I can think of is to go in and watch my live stream on another device here so that I can actually see the chat. Oh, maybe it'll fix itself. I don't know. For some reason, I have a feeling it's not going to. All right. Yep, interaction is going to be limited to my phone. So, and this phone is going to die on me. I know it is. But I'm going to set it right there so I can see the chat. Or maybe I got a little something I can lean it on. Stand. I know I've got a smartphone stand out in my car. Another tripod maybe. I don't know. Anyway, all right. First off, I wanted to. I'm doing this for a kind of weird reason, but I was kind of looking for an old drink to have, and I was messing with this one. And listen, can you guys hear that? I don't know what. It sounds almost like there's a marble in it. And it's still fully sealed. I don't know how old this is. It does have a barcode on it, so it's got to be after the mid-70s, obviously. Brewed by Murphy Brewery, Ireland Limited, imported by Heineken. USA, Incorporated, White Plains, New York, product of Ireland. Wait, here we go. A floating plastic insert which, although designed to remain in the bottle at all times, can, if swallowed, result in choking. Do not drink directly from the bottle. Okay, so for some reason there's a piece of plastic in this bottle, which makes 0 sense to me. All right, I'm going to have to read this and see what it says. Murphy's Irish Stout has been brewed in Ireland. Unique and ingenious drought flow system means that you can now enjoy the smooth flavor and creamy head of a real drought Murphy's from a bottle. Serve cold. Upon opening, pour full contents immediately for the perfect Murphy's head. Wait to settle. Enjoy the taste of Murphy's Premier Stout. Okay, so this has got a piece of plastic in it for pouring purposes, I assume. And that must be why it has this weird, like, indention tapered head to, I assume, stop the plastic from coming out. Huh. So I didn't read the bottle before I brought it out here. I was like, man, what is that? And I was just using the video to show Gabe and ask Gabe, because he is the vintage drink expert. Yeah, the chat's not fixing itself. The only way I know that I could, maybe if I turn it off. Okay. All right, so I just turn the chat off. Show chat. Nope, it did not fix it. Did not fix it. And for some reason, my phone stopped. Huh. So, Josh, LC, Mike, Renee, Malta Magnum, Aletha, Sparrow, Original Firearm, cancel, Fireman. Oh, Fireman Food. Hey, dude, how you doing? How's your dad doing, man? Hope he's doing okay. Every time I see your name, I think about your dad. Divine Spirits Tacos Girl messages TV. Hello. That's a long name. My live stream is way behind. Wait a second. Did my live stream stop? What is going on here? This is weird. I'm sorry about this issue, guys. I don't know why this is happening. This is a brand new iPhone. Like, it's not my phone. It has to be something with the YouTube interface. It's the only thing I can figure. And I don't know how to fix it. I've tried the very limited things that I could do. What else do I see? Let's see. Save a highlight, share, enable flash, mute microphone, cancel. That's nothing. And then when I go into chat, it just says top chat, live chat, super chat, none, which is hide the chat. And there's no way for me to, I mean, doing the none I thought might start it over, but okay. Since there was no super chats, maybe that'll erase everything out. Go to live chat, show chat. No. I swear I'm making it worse. Okay. Well, I'm not going to screw with it anymore. I'm just going to have to read off my phone on occasion. Next. So, I thought about starting tonight off with a one of these vintage drinks or something. Both these are pretty dirty. Got a highbrow here. I think this is just a Wisconsin-based, brewed and filled by Hubbard Brewing Company, Monroe, Wisconsin. Yep. Okay, so that's a Wisconsin. And then we've got a Peter Hand Export Lager Beer. This one, Peter Hand Brewing Company, Chicago, Illinois, and it's got a very shiny gold can. Look at that, like, beam coming off of there. I think that's kind of cool. Almost looks fake. But yeah, this is a pretty decent condition can, I gotta say. This one's fairly clean too. The other one is dirty in the rim. I cleaned a lot of it out already with my pocket knife too. I turned the blade around backwards and scraped all through there. I didn't get it all, obviously. But some of that looks like, I don't know, it could be mold or bugs. I don't know what that could be. Anyway, there's that. And then I've got this that my uncle made that I've never tried before. And I thought maybe I would just eat one of those most likely extremely disgusting pineapples out of there. Just to see what that would be like. We'll start with that. Because like I said, I've never had one before. Never tried this before. It's got my mouth watering, I can tell you that. Oh, yep, that smells exactly like I thought it would. Oh, it smells like rubbing alcohol. This is going to be gross. I ain't got much in the way of forks. The only ones I got, well, I got a military one here somewhere. Got a Navy one somewhere. I don't know where it's at, though. I thought it was right here. And I've got these forks from the wedding that I went to, the little screw together. Hopefully this doesn't eat the gold off of the fork. I don't really want to do this, I don't like moonshine in general. These pineapples, I mean, these pineapples are at least a year, year and a half old. Since they went into this, I mean, who knows how old they were before that. It doesn't seem to have gotten like real soft or anything. The texture doesn't seem to have changed. I know I'm not going to want to eat this. I'm just going to have to just like power through it and swallow it. It smells so bad. It smells like paint thinner. Pineapple. Like, it smells like a something they used to clean my leg, like where I had the accident, like the medical. It smells like medical equipment or like something medical. Yeah, it's strong. That seemed a little sweet. Didn't expect that. All right, here we go. Down the hatch. Mm. Oh. Oh. It's hot. Oh. Not like temperature hot, but like spicy hot. Basically tasted exactly like you would think it would. It tasted like a pineapple that's been soaked in rubbing alcohol. I don't know. I don't see the enjoyment in that stuff really. I mean, I know the end result, like the physical changes that you experience. That's typically the goal. Then there's a lot of people really that just do it for enjoyment of the flavor. That's not something I could understand. My brain can comprehend saying, that tastes great. It ain't there for me. Same thing with beer too, whiskey, anything like it's just not my thing. I like sweet, sugary things, I guess. There's been a few occasions where I've enjoyed a drink, but it's rare. It's rare. I feel like those pineapples probably soak up quite a bit of alcohol. I mean, I could be wrong, but oh, hey, LC's here. Evening, sir. Had a good friend of nearly 34 years pass this week. So I'm letting you know I'm going to do my best to be here as me. I'm sorry about that, LC. I've lost a lot of friends. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I've lost a lot of friends in the past. I don't know, especially over the past 10 years. I've lost quite a few in the past year and a half, 2 years. It never gets easier, really. Like, I don't know. It's something my personal like way of handling it is to just kind of try to not think about it. I guess is to not handle it. It's no way to be. I don't think. Maybe it is. I don't know. It's just how I've approached it because I didn't used to be that way. It used to be I would be tore up when I lost my best friend back in I think it was 2009. So, 14, 15 years ago. It was rough because he passed right after leaving my house, like within an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, supposedly. So it could have been quicker than that even. I don't know, man. Like that one really bothered me, and it kind of changed the way I dealt with that type of thing. So it's different for each person. But thank you for being here, and thank you for your super chat. Let me flip over to I'm gonna drink one of these. I don't care. This one seems to be calling my name. Brewed in Wisconsin's Little Switzerland. They have a Little Switzerland in Wisconsin. I assume it's up there around the lake. The other one's pretty. I don't know. It's got air in it, but it doesn't seem to have leaked anywhere. It seems like it's still sealed. This one does have air. Well, I mean, it's definitely lost. You can push it in, and you shouldn't be able to do that. So I don't know. This one might be better. They both sound. I don't know. I don't think this one's fully sealed either. It seems to have lost its integrity. I think I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with the highbrow. I'm just going to drink it from the bottom. It seems a little bit more sealed than the other one. Take the bottle/can opener here. Take it to the bottom. It says A304 on the bottom. And just judging by the looks of this one, I mean, it's really simple. The only printing that was on it is on the side right there. That's it. 12 fluid ounce can. This is definitely from the 50s. I would say I have to guess, but I'm going to say it's probably from like the late 50s. Did I miss a super chat? Okay, no, I didn't. It's still stuck up on my screen on here. Quite rusty on the bottom. I haven't done this in a long time. This is easily a 60-year-old beer. And it could be 70 some years old. It could be right around 70. I mean, this could be like 1953. Deposit, dispose of properly. Please don't litter. I can't remember when they started doing that on the tops of the cans. Yeah, that was definitely a bug of some kind. All right, I'm stalling. Stop being a wuss. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. All right, here we go. Ooh. How about that? That still had pressure. All right, there's one hole. And I'm going to poke another one on the other side. It looks pretty dark. Just so it can breathe. Gotta clean my can opener. It's got gunk that came out of this can on it. Okay. Again, I haven't done this in a long time. It's been months. That smells like pennies. It sucks I can't see my chat, guys. I hate that. Old style pop tops. Yeah, Jimmy Buffett just passed away there a few weeks ago, didn't he? A couple weeks ago, maybe. It's been very recently. Somebody else, Bull, just passed away not last night, but the night before, from Night Court. You guys remember Night Court? I can't remember his name, his real name. He played Bull, though. The big, tall, blonde-haired, or bald-headed guy. All right, here we go. It smells a lot like metal. I mean, it smells a little bit like beer, but mainly it smells like metal. And it looks like there's a bunch of stuff kind of floating in it. I don't know what that was. Ooh. Ugh. Really metallic. And salty. That's weird. I've never gotten such a heavy, I don't know, salty flavor. Ugh. Hey Renee, you can't do this. I mean, you can't do this on the live chat. And you don't want me talking, so you need to stop it. And leave it at that. Oh. Yeah, that was bad. All right, let's get this case opened up. I don't think I've opened, maybe I've opened this case. I don't know. I could be wrong. Well, you know what? It does look like this end is open down here. I checked it the other day and I didn't think that it had been open. Weird. But it's got tape on it, and I know I didn't put no tape on it. Yep, the other end's flaps are open. Yeah, I don't remember getting this case. And it doesn't look like it's been... Doesn't really look like it's been open. Let's see what we got. I kind of do remember going through this now. The creamy spinach fettuccine that I don't like. I think I said I'd send that to... I think I said I'd send that to Kaylin. Pizza. Well, I guess we'll just find a meal in here then. I have had enough cheese tortellini recently. I've had it a few times in the past. I couldn't imagine having to pull a cheese tortellini like twice a week. It would be too much. Burrito bowl. Oh, we got the lemon pepper tuna. That's not... That I think they need to do away with this one. There's just not anything to it, hardly. Like, I'm sure that's probably got like a cake in it or something, but I mean, this right here weighs, I would say, close to double what this weighs. And this isn't even like one of the largest ones. But the lemon pepper, the tuna chunk light water packed lemon pepper is super lightweight. And I'm not going to say like I'm sure there's plenty of people that like the tuna. It's just if they're going to do it, I feel like they should put 2 packs of tuna in there, something more substantial. But I'm sure you're getting your calories in there if you count them up. All right, Southwest beef and black beans. Mexican style chicken stew. Pork sausage patty maple flavor. I think this is the last year for that one. Beef ravioli. Seems like I've had that one recently too. Maybe not. Hash brown potatoes with bacon. What's this one? The Mexican style chicken stew. Alright, so I'll start putting them back in the way I know that the ones I know I won't be eating today. Beef ravioli I don't remember if I've had that one recently or not. It kind of feels like I have. Definitely not having cheese tortellini again. I think I had that last live stream actually. It was a 90. Was that a 96? Is that a 96? Last one I had. Not eating the pizza. Definitely ain't eating the creamy spinach fettuccine. I do need to send that to Caitlin. I need to get that sent out. So I'm gonna leave that out. I got some other stuff I'm sure I need to send her too. Need to get an address. All right, so I've got it narrowed down to 4 or 5 here. Okay. I think I've only broken down and eaten this meal one time. Maybe I've eaten it more than that. I think I've only made myself eat it once though. I'm not a tuna fan. I'm not a fish fan at all. I don't like really any seafood. All right, so it's between beef ravioli, Mexican style chicken stew, Southwest beef and black beans, or chicken burrito bowl. Probably the 4 best menus left in there right now. Outside of pizza's pretty good. Like I don't mind pizza at all. Cheese tortellini is not bad either. Really, it's not a bad meal. It's just I don't want it right now. Some pickle relish. All to the tuna. Couldn't remember what the word was. Tuna. Well, I'm sure I've got 2 or 3 or 4 of those laying around. I'll send you one of those too, because I don't think anybody in my family will eat them. The only reason I keep newer MREs and meals around outside of like eating the occasional one on a live stream is in case something happens. Like I keep food that I think my sons and my old lady will eat. That's fresher, like fresher type stuff. As far as myself goes, like I would prefer to survive on the older stuff as long as it's not lost its nutritional value, which I have no real way of testing outside of sending it to a lab to see what kind of integrity it still has. But as far as like the preservatives and chemicals that they're using in the food today, in like our current modern era versus what they were using back in the 80s and 90s, or even further back. I mean, you go further back than 80 and you get into the cans, and none of the mains are going to be good. Like you might be able to force yourself to eat a can of like ham and eggs, or Like, I'm sure you could find a can of that survived from, heck, clear back into the 50s even. I had a can of ham and eggs from 1952, I believe it was, that I opened up on a live stream, and I have ever since been kicking myself in the rear end for not trying it, because not only did it look perfect, it smelled perfect. I wish I would have tried. It was in a gold can. It was from a in-flight meal. It was just a random loose can that I had. It didn't actually, like, I didn't have the full meal, but I did have the main, and it was, like I said, it was perfect. I should have fried it up and tried it. Or tried it just unfried. All right, Southwest beef and black beans sounds really good right now. The chicken stew is killer as well. I don't want to regret eating whatever I eat. That's kind of like a vegetable stew with chicken instead of beef. Southwest beef is kind of like a barbecued beef, and then the beans are on the side. I believe it's still that way. Chicken burrito bowl. I don't think it comes with tortillas. Does it? I think it's chicken burrito bowl and Mexican style chicken stew are extremely similar in my memory. I could be wrong about that, but it seems like they are extremely similar. Hey, Schmitty's here. We got Schmitty. Let me look at the chat for a second here. We got Schmitty. We got Multi-Magnum. What's going on, John? Storm Tracker. Hello, hello. We got K-Man, or MRE Info, for those who don't know. Go to mreinfo.com, and if you don't have an account, K-Man will help you out getting you an account, because you got to be accepted by a moderator or the creator of MRE Info, which is K-Man, or MRE Info on the chat right here. Germs, what's up? I think I said hello to most of you guys. Kaylin is in here. The pizza MRE should include... I agree. Like, the pizza should include 2, and I feel like the tuna should have 2 packs of tuna, and, like, the double wheat breads or something more substantial than they are. I think that's been a mistake that they made with the pizza from the very get-go. It deserves 2 pieces of pizza because they're tiny. Like, they're little. Really, I mean, 2 pieces is not even really enough for a grown adult. I mean, unless you weigh like 120 pounds or less, 2 pieces is probably not going to be enough. Because that's, let's be honest, 2 pieces of the MRE pizza is like not even really 1 regular piece of pizza. You're still going to be hungry after eating it. All right. I'll tell you what, LC, is there one of these meals that you would prefer to see? Speak the truth always. Man, I'll tell you what, like, something weird has been happening. Since we're a little bit into the stream already, I can talk about this. I don't care. I'm going to talk about it with you guys. I don't comment very often, and when I do, like, I don't say anything that is definitely nothing that's mean. Definitely nothing that should be looked at as controversial. You know, I'll comment on a video or a short or something, like, on occasion. I have been flagged twice in the past 2 weeks for quote-unquote offensive comment. It doesn't tell you what the comment was either, which really burns my rear end. Because, like, if you're going to say that something that I said, which it wasn't, I can promise you it wasn't, like, with 100% accuracy, I can say I've never said anything with ill intent or with malice or trying to be mean, like nothing, and nothing offensive. We are living in a world. I'm going to say something a little offensive, maybe to us to right now. We're living in a world of snowflakes, like people that just can't take normal conversation. If they do not agree with you, they're going to act like they're offended or they're hurt. First of all, have you never heard the term sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me? That's the truth. Words can't hurt you. If you don't like what someone, and especially if something someone typed, don't look at it. Don't read it. Move on. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen that we're coddling people that have, not we, social media companies are coddling people and giving them an outlet to silence other people because they didn't like what someone said. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Whenever you start shutting down discourse like this, it's the beginning of the end of a lot of our civility. We're not going to be civilized anymore. I mean, you could argue that we're already well within the bounds of the downfall of our civilization. It's so sad. It's so sad. I'm not censoring myself right now because I like this video. I'm not doing this to offend anyone. This is just my opinion. Disclaimer, nothing I've ever said was to be mean. Like, I've never said anything to be mean. I don't think I'm controversial when it comes to things that I say. I think I'm just a little bit open-minded. And it's like it's an offense to be that way today, which bothers me, if you didn't already figure that out. Two pieces, two pizzas, Smitty said. Stormtracker says, Smokey has a heart of gold. Great. Thanks, Smitty. I like you too, man. Mike says, amen. Look, again, I know I'm not saying anything that's honestly, I think nothing I'm saying isn't common sense, or it should be common sense for, I guess, when you get into the problem, what I'm seeing, what I guess my analyzation of this current situation that we're in is, if you are 25 or under, you have been taught that it's okay to be offended and hurt by words. That's the only thing I can think. And I don't know where this came from outside of our educational system. Where else did they learn this? Because I'm pretty sure parents, not very many, maybe there might be some out west that live in different worlds than I live in, that may have taught their kids that words are hurtful. But if you don't like what someone says, there's always going to be bullies. That's never going to go away. And to be quite honest, I think there's a place in the world for bullies. I don't like it. I don't have to like how they play out their game and do what they do. But I do think that the end result from some of the things that they do can be positive. Obviously, there's a limit to that. I'm not saying like the extreme side of that. I'm saying like people look at they look at constructive criticism as being offensive or being a bully. Or honestly, if you really want to, like, if you really analyze some of the things that people say to you, or a content creator online that's getting offended by these words, maybe these people are just trying to help you out and help you make better content, because a lot of your audience feels the way that they feel. They were just brave enough, which is silly to say that you have to be brave to speak some simple words, but they were brave enough to say whatever it was that offended you. And it wasn't intended to offend you. It was just intended to say, look, like, a lot of your audience isn't liking the direction that you're taking. Maybe you should reconsider. Or if you want to stick to your guns on that, fine. You'll lose that part of your audience, which sometimes is okay. Sometimes is the route that creators have to go. And I see that happen on occasion. I don't see it happen a lot, especially anymore. Anymore, it seems like everyone is self-censoring. Google has more power than any company in the world right now. Well, not just company, any entity. All right, time out. Flip the camera. All right, I need to pick a meal out of what I got right here. Mexican style chicken stew, chicken burrito bowl. Smokey and the gang would have been here sooner, but the phone died. Friggin' iPhone wouldn't turn on until charged. Really? I've never had my iPhone completely die yet. I haven't been using an iPhone for very long, so I'm still learning. But there are some aspects to the iPhone that I have found that I don't like, but there are other aspects that outweigh that, and I think iPhones are actually better than the Androids that I've used for the past. I got my first smartphone in 2011. I thought it was 2009. I was wrong. It was 2011. Mid 2011, whenever I got my first smartphone. I was quite behind the curve from a lot of other people. And I didn't care to learn it really until, I guess, the mid 20-teens, and now I started investing some of my time into it after I got injured. All right. I'm going to go with the Southwest beef and black beans, I think. Mexican style chicken stew. Yeah, that's fine. I can always buy another case of MREs. What the heck? What did I do? Alright. So, the Southwest beef and black beans has got a little bit of sweet and savory going on, is the way I would describe it from my memory. Oh, man. Well, that sucks. All the meals just slid out when I flipped it over because I didn't keep that flap down on the end. I like to keep my cases like this, and they're great for storage after you empty them out, which I usually just end up putting more rations back in them. Different kinds. But these boxes, these MRE boxes, you rarely find any other box made to this quality, to this type of crush, like standard, how tough they are, how much weight they can withstand on top of them. I think you can go, it's 5 or 6 high, so you can directly put, I don't know, I guess 100 pounds on these whenever they're completely sealed with that inner support cardboard. All right. Let's do this. So these are Warnicks, which in a lot of cases, I feel like Warnick has the better tasting mains. As soon as I picked up an Android, I could easily navigate it. iPhones are weird to me. Feels like throwing a ball with the wrong hand. Yeah, I can kind of see that. It took me, well, you know, since I was already used to the technology, I guess it was a lot easier for my transition from an Android over to an iPhone. There are still certain aspects of the iPhone that I do not, or I haven't learned yet, and I don't have any other devices. Like I don't have a MacBook or I don't have AirPods or a watch. I don't have anything like that that goes along with it, which I think is really some of the big bonuses to having an iPhone is having the other devices that all interact together. Like if you have the laptop, you can answer your text messages right on there, and other notifications from your phone come straight through to it. It's a lot more seamless that way, and you can send videos from your phone to your laptop really easy by just airdropping them and stuff. That's what I think it's like. I don't know though, because I can't attest to that from personal experience. I can only say what like I've seen. All right, so Warnick. This is a 2019. They shouldn't have no date. Warnick doesn't stamp no dates on them, which I kind of wish they did. The only company that does not include a date on the bag. So if this gets separated from the case like this one just did, and I send it to somebody, there's going to be no way for them to know what year this is outside of it being after 2013. 2013-14, I can't remember right now off the top of my head, is whenever they started adding French right here. So NATO style to the bag. And that's as good as you're going to get. And then if you have a menu list, you can go down and you can find out when Southwest beef and black beans came into the mix, and then you'll get like a closer range. I would say you'll probably get from like 2015 to now, or 2016 to now. I don't know how long Southwest beef and black beans has been at menu number 24, but I would say it's been there for a little while. All right, let's see what we got in here. Now, 2019, they don't have boxes anymore. Got everything out of there. This back here at the back. All right. Now, I just put new board down last time I did a stream. So there's our main Southwest beef. Did you notice there's no black bean in that? Applesauce cake, trans fat free. This is one of my favorite cakes, pound cakes that they make. They are awesome. We got a dinky little accessory packet B, made on the 6th day. So January, wait a second, 61st day, my bad. So been around February 1st or 2nd. So 31 days in January. I think there is. Something like that. What's this? Oh, sweet. Teriyaki beef stick. That's awesome. And we got some regular old cheese spread. Go ahead and give it a quick knead so I don't have to do it later, because it's definitely a little stiff on each end. But I've found that the best way to do it is to just roll it in your hands like that. It's the quickest, easiest way to get all the oils incorporated back in. This is our partially biodegradable MRE spoon. And we have spiced apples to go along with that applesauce cake. That's awesome. That's a good combination. We got our flameless ration heater, which we won't be using. We have a mocha cappuccino instant powder. Nice. And we have a sleeve here with some nutritional information on the Southwest style beef and black beans. I guess this is for, wait. So the black beans are in it? Huh. All right, so I guess the black beans are, I thought they were separate. They used to be separate, I'm pretty sure. All right, so there's 240 calories, and there's your giant, legit giant ingredients list. I mean, come on, that's a book. That's a page of a book. You fold it in half, and that's a page of a book, right? Hey, what's going on, Dan? Dan is here today. My man. And we got some Chipotle tortillas. 220 calories in the whole package. Okay. We got sodium-wise in here. 340 milligrams in our tortillas. So that's 14% of your daily. What we got sodium-wise in here? 950 milligrams. A lot. 40% of your daily value in there. I bet you this has got some sodium in it too. 45, nothing major. How about the cake? We got 13 grams of fat, 270 calories. A lot of calories in this. 190 milligrams of sodium in the cake, which is a lot, in my opinion, for a cake. I got 450 milligrams in the teriyaki beef stick. 19% of your daily value in that. All right, so I'm going to heat the apples up for the cake. Really, technically, I should be heating up these, and really, I should be heating the cake up too. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna heat it all up. All that's going in right now. Be back. Yeah, I'm heating most of the meal up today. It's kind of weird. All we got left is cheese spread, beef stick, and mocha cappuccino instant powder, which I gotta go heat some water up for that. Get the tray up here. Stella, quit whining. There we go. If I missed anything here on the chat, let me go back through. Oh, did I miss? Okay. All right. Oh yeah, warm spiced apples and the cake. Yeah, I'm warming it all up. I'm going all in. Why not? I think this only takes 6 ounces, if I'm not mistaken. Where's the instructions at here? Quarter, yep, 6 ounces. That's nothing. I'm going to heat up a cup. I typically use a little more, especially when it's like just the cocoa beverage powder or the dairy shakes and stuff. I always use more water than it calls for, but this one, really, you don't need to. I just would rather have a larger drink. Yeah, we ain't got much we can do here, really. on the water for that. Take a look at what's inside of here. There we go. Made by Bridgeford. Same thing, same one that makes most of the wraps and the cakes and the pizza. There's two companies that make the pizza. What's the name of the other one? Sterling, I think. Sterling Bakery makes the pizza. Here's the cheese spread. Let's see what's in this accessory pack. Not much. No matches either. I'm already noticing no matches. So we've got an iodized salt. We've got our moist towelette. We've got our U.S. issued butt ration, napkin, paper towel, whatever you want to call it. And we got a raspberry type 3 beverage base. I think that's for 20 ounces. Let me see. Yep. It's supposed to make 20 ounces. And last but not least, we got our Chiclets style gum. Not much of an accessory packet, in my personal opinion. When that water finishes up, I'm going to pull everything out of the boiling water. Put this over here. All right, here we go. Of course, there was water stuck to the lid. There we go. It looks like cranberry, but it says it's raspberry. I mean, it's got that cranberry color. All right, let me go grab this stuff. All right. Some boiling water. And I got all the other stuff wrapped up in a towel right here. We'll get to that in a second. Let's do this mocha cappuccino instant powder first. I'm going to be using Cup Dan sent. Has become my favorite cup since my Bob Ross cup got broken. I do have another Bob Ross cup here. It's just, you can't really see the drinks in them. So I like to have the white ones. On the end, at least on the inside white, so you can see. Seems like a shame to waste these bags. I mean, they are nice bags, But putting boiling hot water in them is kind of dangerous. So that looks like it's got a lot of sugar to it. Try the powder on its own. It's got a nice strong coffee hit to it. Kind of reminds me of a 3-in-1, really. I mean, it does kind of have that mocha hit going on, though. A little bit chocolatey. Certainly the right color. All right. Give it a quick stir. Just because I know how that'll stick to the bottom. If I don't, the powder will like solidify into like some sort of gummy substance. All right. Napkin. Go. All right, here's the rest of the stuff. I'm wrapped up in a towel to keep it warm. Got our tortillas here. I'll set the cake flat on that, try to keep it warm a little bit. Spiced apples. And the Southwest beef and black beans. What I got in that bowl? Alright, looks clean enough to me. Now, I don't like ripping these long ways, so I'm going to make a little cut on the top right here, like so. And there we go. Smells like chili. It smells just like chili. It's got more of a vegetable soup vibe going on. I kind of wish they'd give you rice with this one, because if you were to throw some rice in the tortilla along with this, I mean, you'd really have something. I feel like you'd have a lot more substantial and solid meal prep that way. Something to kind of hold that juice in the inside the wrap. All right. All right, we're going to do the apples and the pound cake last, and I'm going to get a bowl for that. Grab it real quick. Where's the blue bowl at, Ethan? Ethan. Ask him where the blue porcelain bowl's at. Alright, we'll use the Toucan Sam bowl. It's a little worse for wear. It's got some cracks in the glazing, but I guess it'll work. All right. I'll start by having a little bite of this. Breaking up this. Look at the size of that chunk of beef right there. Grilled and everything. Plenty of meat up in there. Some tomatoes, some corn. Obviously your black beans. And it's going to be a tomato and beef based, like, I guess it'd be soup gravy, kind of. Super hot. What are you talking about, Dr. Spike? I've never seen that name before. These can also be turned off when setting up the system. Click the edit button by title and uncheck live actions in the customization tab. Done for every stream. What's up with the heart thing? I see a heart on my screen down here that I never watch it from someone else's point of view. But Dr. Spike, I don't know what let me show you what I got going on with my chat right now. Sounds like you might know a little bit more about what's going on. Look, I'm gonna show you exactly what my chat looks like right this second by taking a picture. That's what my chat looks like right now. You can't read it. It's impossible to read. So I've been using my phone and just watching the stream off my phone and watching the chat. Yeah, I'd like to get Gundog back into making videos again, or even doing live streams would be nice with Gundog. All right, here we go, down the hatch. Man, I haven't really eaten, like, coming up on a couple days, really. Like actual food. It's extremely savory. The gravy's thick. Really thick. Thicker than I kind of really wish it was. Wish it was a little thinner. The corn is nice. It's got a nice texture to it. So I don't know what the floating hearts things are. Let me hit it myself and see what it does. Oh. It's like liking the stream or something. It's like TikTok. Okay, and you can do faces. Party hats or something. Big faces, 100 emojis. Oh. Yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, I get how it works on TikTok. Like, I don't know how it works on here. Like, what the purpose of it is. I don't like on TikTok that the amount of likes that you get is not authentic. Because you'll see someone doing a live stream that's got 100,000 likes. And they have 100 people watching their live stream. And that's like where their top number has been. It's just people have been sitting there tapping on the screen. And you get these crazy inflated numbers, and then they do the rankings and the ratings. I don't even have enough followers over there to live stream, I don't think. I've never tried. I've never posted any videos over there. I've never really done anything with it. It's weird, and I keep getting followers, and I don't understand why. Like, I don't understand that platform, really, hardly at all. All right, one more bite, and then I'll get the wraps. Mm. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. It kind of reminds me of the way my grandma used to make vegetable soup. Her like soup was thinner, obviously just a tomato-based soup, but with the corn, the bean, like it, I don't know. It just kind of reminds me of the flavor of how she made it. All right, these are the Chipotle tortillas. Again, I wish I had some rice. These are nice and hot, and they are still stuck together, and they're probably still going to break. Wow. I mean, these are 4 years old right now. Yeah, maybe they won't. Try wrapping it this way. Stella, quit. I'm not big about putting cheese on my wraps, but we'll open it up and put some on here. Stella. There's a lot of beef in this, which is awesome. And I'm going to try to make the little flap here to keep it in there. But, yep, it's splitting. It's breaking on the bottom, too. It's leaking on my finger. I had a feeling that might happen. All right, I don't know where to go from here. I'm going to have to eat it over the bowl. All right, here we go. Usually I'm not real big on making the wraps just because of this problem right here. But it does add a lot of flavor. Those Chipotle tortillas got a slight amount of spice to them, believe it or not. I think I'm picking up on it because my palate was so cleansed and just so open. I dropped most of the meat out of there. Add a little bit of cheese spread to it. Beef. Where's the beef? There we go. I'm just going to squirt a little bit on there. All right, here we go. Yeah, it's a mess. I'm trying to eat this. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen old mate Drop Bear in a long time. I mean, it's been a couple years probably since I heard from him. I'm just guessing. I mean, maybe not that long, maybe longer. Actually, I want to say it was back whenever I was filming the TV show, whenever last I heard from him. So that's been a long time ago. The boss, she might be like almost 20 now. I mean, his videos, are like 8, 9 years old. And I figure she was probably like 10 or maybe she was like 8, 9 there towards the end. I don't know. She's definitely driving, I would say. All right, I'm just going to eat it like this. The cheese actually did add a nice creaminess to it. I might actually like it with the cheese better. Which really wouldn't typically be the case. Well, yeah, this is definitely a mess. Looks like some green peppers up in there too. All right, give it some cheese. There we go. And take a bite over the bowl. I don't like how dissolved and soft that tortilla had gotten. That's a good cheese spread. Something different about it. I'd like to have it on a cracker. Just to see. All right, the last bite's getting eaten with a spoon. A bunch of that corn on there. Maybe. I guess not. It's being difficult. All right, here we go. Yeah, that is tasty. Let's see. I don't know if that one might survive being wrapped or not. Maybe. It just might. Well, it's starting to split right there. That sucks. I don't know how else you're supposed to... I guess just rip it off and take a bite with a bite. Put a little cheese on here, take a bite with a bite. Although I prefer to have it in a wrap. You can guarantee if I do it, it's all going to spill out. So, I'm going to do the tear some off. Take a bite with a bite. I'll do it that way. I'm going to put some cheese thread on here. Actually, I want to just try the cheese spread on its own on the tortilla. Sometimes the cheese spread can be like a little weird. Even the brand new stuff. Like, it's not consistent flavor-wise. I don't know how many of you guys who eat MREs and stuff have noticed that. But I have definitely noticed that the cheese spread seems to vary in its flavor. And even sometimes consistency. Right now, it's really, really close to straight-up Cheese Whiz. Like, store-bought Cheese Whiz, which is very consistent in its flavor, texture, and all that. All right, I'm gonna put a little cheese on here. Literally a little bit. Give me a bite of this. Like so. I guess I'm going a little far putting it on there. I should have just ate it off the spoon. All right, here we go. I don't know. Honestly, it's just as good without the cheese as it is with. The cheese is nice to change up, just to change it up a little bit. All right, one more bite without the cheese, and then I'll stop. That's a big old chunk of beef too, and it's not overly processed stuff. Like, this seems like just legit. It is cuts of beef. Look at that. I just split that off a bigger piece. That is some good looking beef. Absolutely. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see that pressed and formed crap that's not even really meat, or it doesn't seem like it is. I mean, I'm sure it contains meat, but that's about where that ends. All right. All right.
He is so bad.
It's a lot of beef. It's really good, though. The corn has kept its texture perfectly, which doesn't always happen in MRE meal. Sometimes it loses it and it gets soft and weird. The beans are a really nice texture in that as well. They're not overly done, but they're also not like, they're not hard at all. Basically remind you of just a nice soft chili bean. Really. I mean, they're not so soft that you can't tell they're there. They've still got a decent amount of firmness to them, which is nice. Hey, CT's here. How about that? Hello, CT. Old Canadian trucker guy. Hey, guy. I'm not your guy, pal. I'm not your pal, guy. Or however it goes. I'm not your pal, buddy. You know, this is probably one of the only sugar-free drinks that I don't get that really weird aftertaste with. Something to do with the raspberry flavoring that kind of masks it really well. But I am not a fan of the artificial sweeteners at all. And this one is not bad. Although I will say, I would much prefer if they would leave that dye at the door. We do not need it. Please keep it in your factory or flush it down the drain or store it in a cabinet somewhere where it'll never be seen again. Stop with the dyes. It's driving me crazy. All right. Good old applesauce cake. Well, knife ain't as sharp as it should be. Look at that. It's still nice and warm. Oh my God, it smells so good. It smells like a caramel apple cake or when my dad passed away, this lady made a cake. And it was called an apple cake is what it was called, but it had like, it wasn't butterscotch, it was something else. Or maybe it was butterscotch. It was something that they like poked the holes in it and dumped it all over it. I got the recipe for it in there, but It took me like a year to get that recipe from the person that made that cake because it was so good. When we had the like gathering after my dad passed away at the church, the gathering, you know, like a fellowship thing or whatever you call it at the church after he passed. Everybody brings food and whatnot. That was a long time ago. But whenever I first seen these cakes, I was like, I wonder if those are going to be anything like that at all. Because, I mean, this really does smell a lot like it. The only thing is it's got like this, it's not really an icing that you can see. It's kind of like a sugary icing that goes on top of it. That is really good. All right, let's get this nice, warm, moist. Look how moist that thing is. Let's get a little cross section on it here. There you go. Applesauce cake that I'm dropping all over the place. All right, that's all of it out of there. All right. Give it a little try. I mean, it really does seem to have like a caramel aspect to it. It kind of looks like it's got, I don't know if that's cinnamon or poppy seeds or what those dots are in there. Let me zoom in for you. It's got like dots going throughout it. Not real sure what that is about, but it smells really good. It's got a caramel smell to it. Obviously, I certainly pick up on the apple. Look, there's a chunk of apple right there, so you can see it. I love getting the actual fruit in the pound cake like that. Really takes it to another level and seems like something that's not shelf stable, you know? And I'm telling you, this cake is so moist. This is probably the most moist pound cake that I have ever had. I don't understand exactly how it could be that moist and survive. I mean, that thing's 4 years old already. Like, it's fresh, but 4 years old already. All right. Apples and spice sauce. So cinnamon apples, more or less, is what these are. I always like to open them from the top. It's just easier to manipulate the packaging that way. And I'm going to dump them in here with this little piece of cake for now. There's what they look like. They smell... They got a little bit of that chemical packaging smell going on. But they smell like a sour apple kind of scent with a little bit of cinnamon to it. All right. And we need another spoon. Looks like really all I got are sporks from Canada. I mean, I got a bunch of MRE spoons, but they're all in plastic, so. All right. It's apple time. Just a fork, I guess, will work. Getting one of those out of there like that. Oh, they're in this really thick, sweet, sugary kind of gravy. Well, it's like a cinnamon based. All right, here we go. Down the hatch. Mmm. The apples are kind of sour. But wow, being hot, that's where it's at. Although there's something weird about that. I don't know if it's just from where I was just eating all that, or if it's actually the apples. So, give it another try here. There we go. Yeah, it must have been like a leftover mix with the beef. Tastes normal now. Sweet, tangy, a lot of apple, obviously. Let's try a bite of the cake with an apple. This looks like it's going to be the way to go. Here we go. Wow. Balances out that weird sourness that's going on there. The sweetness of the cake really kind of almost perfectly balances it out. I gotta have another bite of that. That was really good. Really go for a big bite this time. It's kind of like a gourmet dessert here. My goodness. You could have put that on like a little square saucer. Put that cake right in the middle. Put those apples down one side, buttered right up against it, and boom. There's your little gourmet dessert. I mean, they are really good, though. The apples mix with the cake perfectly. Oh, it's like, I don't know. This is something I would have at like a big potluck dinner or something. We have Tudor's Biscuit World here in West Virginia. I don't know how familiar a lot of you guys are with that, but they have something called an apple biscuit. It's just like a butter biscuit, big thick butter biscuit with pretty much these type of apples on it. Theirs are a little bit different than these. Theirs aren't as thick. The gravy stuff isn't as thick, but it's just cooked apples is what they call it, cooked apples. But it is cooked apples with cinnamon, sugar, and like to make the sauce, and you put it on a biscuit. And I eat that from Tudor's. That's one of the main things I like to get from there if I go there, because I'm not a huge fan of their food anymore. It's went way downhill from what it used to be. But yeah, this is something that's not out of the ordinary for me to eat. Oh, CT, you're going to be live on Wednesday? You have to remind me. I don't know what I might have something happening Wednesday, it seems like. Now, I wouldn't typically just eat those apples on their own. I got to have something. They're good on crackers, actually. Just MRE crackers. I have found that I really enjoy these apples on MRE crackers. I don't like it on the wheat snack bread. But any type of dessert cake that you can mix these apples with, it's usually pretty daggone good. I want another just bite of the cake. And I wish I could think of that. That reminds me of something, that cake. Almost like the spiced cake, kind of. Except add in some apple flavor to it. What are we talking about? Terrible pizza. I mean, that looks like a nice cappuccino that we got going on there, the way that head is on it. Should go well with the cake and apples. Let's find out. Yeah, that's pretty tasty. Not a whole lot of coffee going on there, though. I will say it tastes a lot more like a lot more chocolate than coffee. Yeah, it's good though. It's good. I think, well, that's it other than the beef stick, which I'm going to skip the beef stick if you guys don't care. I'm actually full, and I've still got to eat half of that beef and black beans over there, which, I mean, give me about 45 minutes, and I let my food settle a little bit. I should be able to finish it. And some liquid. I can't read the chat on the screen at all. It sucks. Thanks for the advertise it here, but none close by. Hard Knocks 2000 says, I'm making homemade chocolate peanut butter at the moment. Really? I'm curious. What are you using for the chocolate part? Are you using a powder or are you using actual chocolate? Heating it up, mixing the peanut butter and the chocolate together? I'm curious. And I've been eyeballing these Pall Malls right here for the past, I don't know, week. I've been wanting one, and I haven't smoked one. Where are my Lucky cigarettes at? Oh, you leaving, Smitty? Oh, you're using Hershey's chocolate syrup. I don't know if that would be what would be best to make chocolate peanut butter or not. That doesn't, I mean, I don't know. The chocolate peanut butter and MREs, I've never had anything that really even comes close to matching it. Not Nutella. Like, Nutella is completely different. There is a Jiffy chocolate peanut butter that you can get in these little round individual servings of, I guess it's for a sandwich or dips. I don't know what you're supposed to use it for. But I bought some of those, and I didn't like it at all. Like, the chocolate peanut butter and MREs is, I mean, it's just built different. It's hard to believe you could buy an aged pack of cigarettes at a gas station, which I did. I mean, these are 12 to 15 years old, I think is what we figured out. And they were still sitting in there on the shelf because nobody will buy them. And they're not out in the open either. They're hidden. So, looking like gray. Big old streak of gray there. If I let it go, that right there gets gray all the way down through there. Same thing over here. I'm gray. Yeah, I wouldn't describe it as like a melted Reese cup. Although, what if you took the centers out of, I don't know, like, buy a couple of those big packs and just punch the center with the peanut butter and the chocolate on the outside and heated that up and mixed that all together? and then let obviously let it cool back down, which the chocolate might. I don't know if the chocolate would try to harden back up or not if you mixed it all up like that. Might be worth a shot to see what that would taste like. It might be worth trying. I still got hair. I got hair on my face, John. In the past 3 years, I have lost almost all my hair on right here because of COVID. I never had any issues with it until COVID, and then after I got COVID, it was coming out in the comb. It started happening while I had COVID the first time, which would have been March of 2020. I came home from New York with it in March of 2020. I was looking through old pictures, and I want to say it was March 9th, March 10th, something like that, was the last day I was in New York. And the reason that I know, which I can find out for sure, but I took this picture, and I know this picture was the last day I was in New York because I followed this guy, and I got my phone out and took pictures of him because he had a smiley face dyed into his hair on the back of his head. So he had a big yellow circle with a smiley face in it, and I took pictures of it. So I'll tell you what, that pineapple and that old, what was that thing? Highbrow. Highbrow. It's upside down, but I can't turn it over because there's a little bit left in there. I wonder what that A304 on the bottom is, because that's the area code in West Virginia. All of West Virginia is 304. I doubt it was. I mean, it could have been imported to West Virginia, but I can't imagine they put the area code on it. Yeah, you never know. It's my bad, man. It's just easier for me to say John than Multi Magnum 62. I don't know what the recipe would be. Have you looked at the ingredients on the chocolate peanut butter to see? I mean, I'm sure it's not going to be anything that we could break down. It's going to be like vegetable oil and I don't know. There might be a cocoa content. I doubt it. Um, Here's what I can't understand. Like we all know, anybody who's tried that chocolate peanut butter is typically blown away with it because it's not really sweet like it would be if you took Reese's and melted them down, right? Like I mean, it's got a slight sweetness to it, but it's really subtle. Um, I don't understand how they haven't taken that to the civilian market. Like it seems like one of those things that would be wildly popular, especially among kids, and especially if you could keep it along the natural lines because chocolate isn't really that bad for you. I mean, unless you add a bunch of like fake sugars or crap in there. Or if you could use dark chocolate to make it, that would be a slight amount of dark chocolate to make it. It would take, I would say, a quarter of the amount of dark chocolate to make it as what it would if you were adding milk chocolate to it. But the color of it makes me think they'd probably use milk chocolate. Maybe calling the company that makes it and seeing, I don't know. I just feel like there's a big opportunity there that's being missed. If you use a food processor to make peanut butter, you can add chocolate chips or chopped chocolate after the peanut butter's creamy. The heat from the food processor will melt the chocolate. Yeah, depending on, as long as you got like not really high tempered chocolate. Stuff that'll melt at like, what's it typically melt at? Like 90 degrees? 80? Wait, I think it typically melts at 98 or something, same as body temperature. And then anything above that is what the military would consider to be a tropical chocolate. Anything that melts above your body temperature. I think tropical chocolate melts at like 108 or 109, something like that. It might be 110. Oh, really? Dan says chocolate's getting crazy expensive. Cacao is up 44%. Sugar is rising too. Stock up if you love it, guys and gals. Well, yeah, I mean everything's really went up though, hasn't it? If we take a snapshot of, let's call March of 2020, or let's call it December of 19. If you took everything's price from 2019 and you looked at prices, data, I'm sure you could find data from 2022 since that year's over and find average prices for 2022. I think everything has went up at least 33%, and a lot of things are up, I would call it 50%, because you have to factor in the shrinkflation into that as well, because I've noticed a lot of chip manufacturers, candy bar manufacturers making their products smaller and keeping them at the same price, or making their products smaller and upping the price just slightly instead of making like the big price hike. And a lot of that was blamed on whenever we had the supply chain issues. But man, a lot of that was manufactured. I'm a firm believer in what's going on. And I just saw a video yesterday of Dr. Drew. I don't know who, I think he was talking to that lady that got fired from Fox years ago. I can't remember her name. I want to say it's Kelly something. Could be wrong about that though. Can't remember her name. But anyways, Dr. Drew was sitting there talking about a study that Hopkins or Harvard or somewhere released to do with myocarditis and the direct link to something I'm not allowed to talk about on YouTube, which is, again, self-censoring. Here we go. Can't say certain things, can't talk about certain things, which is crazy because, again, it shuts down the discourse, it shuts down the conversation, it shuts down any progress that we could make by talking about these things. And it's anything that I say is only my opinion, typically, unless I'm referring to an actual source, and then I'll tell you that I'm referring to a source, and you can go look it up for yourself. But I can't remember exactly what he said. Maybe I can find it real quick. Hang on. Let's see if I can pull it up. I can't remember if I saved that video or not. It'd be cool if I did. Nope, I didn't save it. Dang it. Nope, I don't think I did. Dang it. Let me check one other place on here. Maybe put it here. Nope, I did not save it. I can't believe I didn't save that. Huh. Usually I would save something like that. Let me see if I can look it up and find it. Dr. Drew. About. I don't know how to spell myocarditis. Maybe yeah, I do. I spelled it correctly. I'm not saying that it's the gospel. I'm just saying the study that you referred to seemed pretty credible. But again, I think anything like that can be, unfortunately, inaccurate or manipulated nowadays. Oh yeah, dude, the natural maple syrup. Ever since, I think it was, CT that sent me the can first. Ever since I had that, I've tried to eat, and it even says I've got some that says natural maple syrup made by Smuckers, I believe. It don't taste right. Like, none of it tastes right. Not a big fan of the fake stuff. Cracking into some CR1 Bega cheese and club crackers. You know, the Bega cheese has a good, like, it kind of reminds me of, I used to get, well, I didn't get it, but my grandma used to get the government cheese. And if you live here in America, if you ever lived a somewhat impoverished life back in the 80s or early 90s, the government blocks of cheese, they come in a box. It was just a white box that had this big block of cheese in it, and my grandma would shred it, and she would slice it, and I think she would get one like once every 2 weeks, or maybe it was once a week. I think it was once every 2 weeks. Anyway, it was enough. It was enough cheese to last us, and that cheese, to this day, is the best cheese that I've ever had. That is a mosquito in the middle of October. The end of October? The end of October. Alright, let's look at the chat here. Okay, CT, you can be happy I'm leaving now. LC, my kids are Canadian and they don't chug it. Us Canadians chug it like super troopers. You know, I've never watched one of those documentaries of maple syrup being made. I know it comes from a maple tree, like that's the main ingredient. It doesn't just come out like that, though, right? It comes out looking different, or maybe it does. I don't know. I've never watched. I don't know exactly how it's made. So I've actually tried the bag of cheese with Vegemite before on white bread. I don't know. I've got a can of Vegemites, or a jar. I've got a small jar of Vegemite somewhere in my kitchen, but I don't know where it's at. And I haven't had any. The bag of cheese doesn't keep, so I have to eat it I don't know. After you open it up, if you put it like I put a baggie, put it over, put it in a baggie, and I'll put it in the fridge, like because usually I can only eat about half a can at one time, because I don't know. I'm a small eater anyways, like small portions wise. If if I'm really hungry and I'm just going to sit down and eat. Like I could have easily sit down and eaten everything in this meal tonight without any any troubles. But what I did eat, since I ate slowly and I was talking in between, like by the time I got like I'm full and I ate about half the food. I don't know if everyone knows this or realizes this, but when it comes to eating, if you eat really fast or if you eat as fast as you can, you're going to eat a lot more because you're going to eat so fast that your body's not even going to tell you that it's full. Once it's full, it takes about 15 minutes for it to catch up. So if you eat kind of slowly like I do, I always eat slowly. I'm always the last one done. It's not intentional. I just can't eat fast. Never have been one to eat fast. Which if I'd have been in the military, that might have been a problem. I'd have been lacking on some calories because I don't like to eat 3 and 4 times a day either. That's not something I've ever wanted to do, but I probably should and start going to the gym is what I need to do. I need to start eating more often so that my body gets used to getting the calorie intake and kicking in my metabolism into working. But I've always been the type of person to eat like once, maybe twice a day, and that's it. Like I might have a snack or some, a sugary drink or something like that in between, but I typically don't eat 2 or 3 meals a day. Usually it's just one. I've tried eating 3 and 4 meals a day, and it always makes me feel bad. It always makes me feel bloated and lethargic and just yucky. Like I never feel right if I try to eat a lot well, a decent meal, even a small meal, like say what I just ate here, which is basically about half of everything that was there. But I mean, you got to think that's probably still, I don't know, I probably still ate 700 calories, probably, I would say. Enough, in my opinion. End up going goblin mode on something I'm eating. Typically, I'm just really hungry or something I really like. Well, yeah. I mean, it's rare that I just tear into something. Like, for instance, if we go out to eat at, I don't know, Applebee's or go out to a steak place or something, I typically will eat half of my meal and I'll put the other half in one of the plastic containers and bring it home, and I'll have a whole nother meal tomorrow that it's like it's getting 2 meals for one. Basically is how I look at it, because it's both times it's enough food to fill me up completely. Oh, a wet, yeah. I mean, you got to make a decision on a wet burrito like that. It's like, am I just going to try to eat this thing real fast, or am I going to let it fall apart and eat it with a spoon? you know, uh, Virgin Caesars. What? I don't know what that is. You mean dressing? Caesar dressing? Tim, did you mean today as in Saturday or tomorrow as in Sunday? I assume you meant today. There was a gun show today and hit the casino. I don't live near anything like that. Like the nearest gun show that there would probably be Charleston on occasion, or Huntington, which I mean I guess isn't really too far away. Charleston's about an hour. Huntington's like hour and 20 minutes, unless the road's better. They've been doing some maintenance to the road from here to there because they're putting in that new core plant. Is what it's called. It's a From what I understand, they just take scrap steel and melt it down. Basically a recycling plant. But they're spending $3.3 billion on this place. I don't understand how they're going to even get enough product to keep such a large, I mean, it has to be huge. $3.3 billion has to be a huge facility. So, something has popped up recently. I just seen it, actually, for the first time, probably Thursday. And I'll show it to you guys real quick, because I'm going to go look at it. I really don't know what I would do with it, but it's already set up for the government grants, where if you restore these homes, the government grants pay for 45% of the restoration, which, I mean, that's kind of crazy. You know, that's a lot. Like that's a lot. All right, let me look it up real quick. All right, it's probably down here in my saved. Let me see. Yep, right there it is. All right, so it's 2 houses. And I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with or even know. I'd say most of you guys know that I live in Mason County, which is where the Mothman thing is from. And why am I on Street View? I don't want to be on Street View. Oh, it's not going to show me the listing. Really? Come on. Anyway, so where the old bridge fell back in, what was that, 63, 65, 1963, 1960, whenever it fell. I don't even know. Like, I'm not that up on that part of the history because I don't know why. It's just always been like a cliche thing, in my personal opinion, because they made it that way with the whole Mothman aspect of it. And again, personal opinion. But anyway, these 2 houses set very close to where the old bridge was. And they're right on the river lot. And you get 2 historic houses. One is a 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 2,800 square feet. The other one is a 3 or 4-bedroom, 2 or 3 bathroom. I don't know. Here, I'll show you. All right, turn the light off. All right, here we go. This is what we got. They called this one the mansion. It's still called that to this day. This is the 5-bedroom, and it comes with another river lot over here this way towards where the bridge was at. Now the new bridge is right there behind it as well. I don't know if you can see it. One of these pictures you probably can. There we go. That's the other house right there. It's the front of the other house. Right here. There's the bridge in the background. And it's got a 3 or 4 car garage right there in between the two houses. Both the houses were owned by the same family for a long time. It's got this little area right here with the overlook of where the two rivers meet right there. The Canal River comes out this way, and that's the Ohio River that runs down to the right over here, right next to what's called Towindowee Park, which there's a monument and story there from Chief Cornstalk, which cursed the area. Now, these pictures inside are supposedly, it's empty now. It's what I was told. But it was fully furnished whenever these pictures were taken. The original elderly owner still lived there. So this is your little foyer in this one. You come in, there's a fireplace, stairs. It's kind of, they got nice carved fancy doors. Or I guess just nice craftsman quality. Big built-in office, like what looks like some sort of fold-out desk or something. I don't know what's going on with that rug or that carpet, whatever that is. There's another, looks like they turned that into some sort of gas fireplace of some kind. It does, one of these has an office den with like the bay window in it. A little dining area. The kitchens are classically small. I do not like that. There's the view from the front door of the mansion, the one that's called the mansion. I'll just go through it quickly. Bedrooms. Quite a few bedrooms. Bathrooms are ancient. I guess there's a library area. There's the park that's across the street that I mentioned. There's the river. That's the canal right there. It goes over into the Ohio over there, and the bridge. It's got a nice view, I mean, really. And it's all fenced in with that wrought iron fence. Just like that. It's got brass plaques out there. 12 Main Street. And there's another brass plaque for 14. It's 12 and 14 Main Street. There's the kitchen in that one. Old linoleum in there. I mean, it needs some restoration. There ain't no doubt about it. I like the trim around the windows and stuff. I'm just... I don't know what I could do with these, really. I'm pulling the chat back up so I can see what you guys were saying. I had to put it away. But, so, my thought was, there's 3 hotels. Well, technically 4. There's 3 over in Ohio, like, that are right there off the main road. There's the old Holiday Inn, which is extremely ran down. There is a new, well, there's like an older Super 8 that my aunt used to run. My grandma and my aunt both used to work, and my mom, actually. They all used to work at Holiday Inn. And then I think they all 3 worked at Super 8 as well whenever it first opened up about, I guess it had been about 30 years ago. I mean, I was still pretty young when it first opened up. So, but it's old. I'm sure it's been renovated 2 or 3 times, maybe more. I haven't been in it in a long time, but it was always not the nicest anyway. And then they built a nicer hotel a little bit further down in town over in Gallipolis, which is in Ohio. and I want to say it's like 230 or 250 a night to stay there. And I was thinking that these houses would be awesome to run like bed and breakfast, except I wouldn't do the whole multiple people staying in a house like that. That ain't gonna work. Like, I would not want to stay in a place with some strangers. It's just not on my list of things to do. So if you rented it, you'd get the whole house. But there's two houses there, and then you've got that big garage right there, which I think you could probably just tear that down and maybe build another place to rent there and have three of them. But one of the concerns that I guess you could say that I might have is being right there where it's at. Now, I know this might sound a little bit crazy, but I kind of wonder what kind of energy or what kind of spirits might be hanging around that place, because that's where that huge tragedy happened, was right there back in whatever year that was, 63 or 65. I think it was 65 that the bridge fell, but it happened right there. Like, they had equipment in the yards of these houses. If you look back at that old footage, you'll see these houses. Like, these houses were sitting right there. One was built in 1893, I think. I can't remember when the other one was built, but they were built a long time ago, and they were there definitely when this happened. And I'm just curious if there's any like weirdness going on there that would cause me problems. So see, I thought about doing like a little sit down restaurant, because there's not any there. Listen, there's not any nice sit down places to eat, unless you consider the Mexican restaurant a nice sit down place to eat. There's just not. Now, I don't know how you would go about that, setting that up there, and still keep the integrity of the houses. But you could set up one heck of a, I mean, the area, just that spot right there is really a great spot. But then you'd have parking issues. See, that's the other thing that I would run into there. And I would love to be able to figure out something to do with these places. I'm going to go look at them and see. And her husband spent $750,000 having a house built 2-3 years ago. They had all kinds of leaks and a few window frames. I'd have been heated. My brand new house had issues like that. No freaking doubt. Another thing I've been thinking about doing recently, I guess I've been thinking about it for really taking a strong interest in it in the past few weeks, is starting a spray foam insulation company, which would have eliminated any of these leaks that your sister had, because that stuff is amazing. It goes in every little crack and crevice and fills it, because when it sprays out basically just like a liquid, and then it expands into every crack and crevice. And like, I know some people that have used it on their new builds, and they've told me that their electric bill is virtually nothing. They are able to heat and cool their homes so easily that their electric bill is like a third of what it was the year prior, like when they were running the same type of equipment without the spray foam insulation. And now, it cost a little bit more. When I say a little bit more, I mean it's a lot of money. It costs you about a third more to use spray foam over like board insulation or the fluffy pink kind of insulation. It's called like R33 or something. I think that's what it's called. Could be wrong, but the extra that you would spend having that done, you would save that within the first 2 years on your electric bill, and then all the time after that is just all savings. Like, you're just saving that much. Here the builders will leave. I'm pretty sure that here, if there's a new home built here, if there's any issues with that home, I think it's 2 years here. I know for a fact that it's at least a year. I guess it would just depend on the builder that you use, though. I'm wanting to build my own house, and I'm going to contract some of the things out, but I'm going to do as much of it myself as I possibly can with the help of whoever I can get to help me. I've got an idea of what I'm going to do. I just want to get out of this house. I want to get out of this house so that I can decide whether I'm going to gut this house out completely, which that would be bare minimum, is this house getting completely gutted, or if I'm going to just tear this house down all the way, just to nothing. I hate to do that, because looking at my house from outside, like, my house doesn't look bad. It looks like a classic ranch style brick house, metal roof. Like, it doesn't look bad at all. It's just, I mean, you can see, like, this ceiling right here, that is a trailer ceiling, because they encapsulated an old double wide with brick, a pitched roof, and a metal, a metal pitched roof, and they added a fireplace in here, and sitting on a foundation. Obviously, I mean, technically it's a house, but it's not built to the standard of a house. It's sitting on a metal frame, but I have looked at the floor joists in this thing, and they are, I think they're 12-inch centers in the floor, which is kind of crazy, and they're 2x12s floor joists. So the floor joists look good, and what I've seen of the walls, what I've been able to see of the walls, doesn't look bad. And a lot of this stuff in here, like, I would just have to completely gut it out. But the problem that I have is I want the ceilings higher. Because right now the ceiling's only like 7.5 feet, and I don't like these low ceilings. And for this to be my permanent home, I want to have higher ceilings. So I don't know if I'm going to end up just tearing this place down. I mean, or this is my other option, is gutting it out, redoing it, turning it. Right now it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Instead of it being 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, switching it into a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, opening this wall up in here, making the kitchen, the living room, and the dining area all one big area, and keep a fireplace. I think that would be good for such a large area for a focal point. And turning this into what will essentially be the guest house, because my mom and stepdad are getting older. A lot of our family are getting older, and I don't know. I have a feeling that I'm going to need the space. So, and then just building whatever I live in on the side over here. I've got like roughly a half an acre here, which isn't that much. I've got to get my old garage tore down to be able to do what I want. And as far as building permits and stuff like that, it's very, very lenient where I live. The town is basically as long as it's improving the area, then they don't care. Built in 92. Wait, city inspector showed up a year later and threatened fines if they didn't plant at least 2 trees. Which seemed weird to me. Most of my neighbors have trees. My property doesn't, though. Apparently some kind of municipal ordinance for single-family dwellings that you have to have trees on your property. My trees are my large tree out here is like half dead. I don't know what the heck's going on with it. And then I had one out here that came up out of the ground, basically, like, I don't know, it came out of the ground like 3 trees. Like, it was split right, not split, I don't know how to describe it. It was like 3 individual trees that came down to one at the very bottom. and the largest tree fell over, and the other two, when that happened, started separating like this. So I had to have it cut down. My apple tree that was out back, it died. I think the deer killed it. I think they like chewed bark off of it. Of course, they were eating the apples off of it. I didn't care. But something killed my apple tree out back. I don't know what killed it. And my dogwood tree, right out front, right here, it's dead. Like, this is the first year that it just didn't do anything at all, didn't bud at all, which sucks. I've heard that dogwood trees don't live very long, like 20 years. So I don't think I want to plant another dogwood tree. And supposedly dogwood trees can't get very big. They can't get large enough to make a crucifix out of, is what I've heard. Because that's supposedly what Jesus was crucified on, was a dogwood tree. And ever since then, dogwood trees won't grow large enough to be able to make whatever size post they made the crucifix out of. So that's the myth I've heard, or the theory. I don't know. Whatever the theory I've heard. You're 5'12". You mean you're 6 foot, Mike? 10-foot ceilings. My house, 6 foot. Stand in my window openings. I've got large windows in here. They're 6 foot windows, 6 foot by 6. There's 3 of them right together, right here, and they're probably 6 foot tall, 4 foot wide each, and there's 3 of them, so they're 12 foot long, or maybe they're 3 foot wide. Yeah, they're probably 3 foot wide. They're big windows, though. Big windows for this house. For this kind of house. Not really a house. What is it? I thought Google was created by a man. What? Created, not created. I thought Google was created by a man. Larry Page and Sergey Brin, wasn't it? I don't know who created Google, actually. But Google is no longer what it used to be. Google has become the most powerful entity in the entire world. I've got a video, man. I recommended this last live stream, but Crowder did a. He wasn't even in it, but Steven Crowder did a video with this guy, a Harvard professor. He's actually a really far-leaning, left-leaning fellow, and yeah, it doesn't matter. The information that he's delivering is extremely important. Here, I'll put a link. Clickable links, I don't think work in the chat anymore. They don't work on messages, which, if you post a video on YouTube, you should be able to post a link to another YouTube video. Like, especially if it's a short or something, you should be able to post a full YouTube video link in a short. You know, if someone's watching one of your shorts, if they want to watch the full video, they should be able to click on the link that you left in the first, pinned it to the first comment. Well, YouTube has stopped allowing that for whatever reason. Let's see if I can get it. My phone's not going to work for some reason. Alright, Let me see if I can find that video. What, it wasn't him hosting the show this particular episode. But anyways, this guy is collecting all this data from Google and YouTube and Google in general. And he explained it like this, that we have these things called ethereal, they call them ethereal experiences. It's something that just you will experience on your phone or your computer or whatever it is one time. It's a personal experience that you have interacting with your device. And it only happens for you, whatever the particular experience is, and it'll never happen exactly the same again. So what they're doing is they're getting these random people from all over to volunteer basically their data, so that they can watch every single thing that happens on their phone, their laptop, their whatever. And it's all anonymous, like anything that's got your name or your credit card, they don't collect that data. Anyways, so he's looking at these ethereal experiences, and he's looking at the way that the algorithms bend for each person. It's different for each person. That's why they sell your data now, because they can target you with ads. They can target you with certain things that they want you to pay attention to, and they're doing that. They're doing that in such large numbers, on such a large scale, that you would think that it's a lie. You would think that there's no way they can actually be doing that. There's no way. You'd have to listen to him explain it, because again, this is just my interpretation of seeing this video, and I watched the whole thing a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. His name is, I can't remember, it's right here. Something Epstein, not Epstein, but Epstein. Again, he's like a Harvard professor. I think he graduated from Harvard. All right, I'll try to put the link in here. I'm sure it's probably not going to work, but I highly recommend you guys check this out, because it's, in my personal opinion, one of the most important pieces of information that has been collected. So I think it was just last year in 2022, they had a pretty big sample of people that they could pay attention to, or that they were collecting data from. And I'm not exactly sure how he came up with these numbers, but it was convincing the way he presented his study and his information. But supposedly, based on what he found, Google not only has the ability to, but has been controlling 40% of the elections. Not just here, everywhere, the entire world. Anywhere that uses Google, they have the ability to. So one of the things he explained, he's like, again, this is just my interpretation. This is not word for word what he said, but this is just my opinion on, or what, I don't know. This is just the way I interpret it. He said, in particular, down in Florida, if you were more of a liberal type person, for 2 weeks leading up to the election, Google was sending these reminders to these particular, I guess if you fell in this typeset of people, they were sending you reminders to go vote. Go vote. And that's one of those ethereal experiences that happens for you at a certain time when you clicked on something else and it came up like an ad and reminded you to go vote. Go vote. Go vote. So the way he explained it, and he said if you were not in that category, if you fell to the other side of that. Like, you wouldn't get anything at all like that if you lived in that area. Because there were certain elections happening, I guess, in 2022. I guess it would have been 2022. Um, it's really interesting information to hear. And it's something that needs to be taken into consideration by us, the people. It's already gotten way out of hand. I always kind of had a suspicion that this type of thing was going on. I mean, I've thought this for a long time, that they have way more influence than they should, and they're not considered to be a publisher. So therefore, they have zero repercussions, and they're censoring everything. So that's what a publisher is supposed to do. Is, they go through and critique the book, like a publisher of a book. They go through and make sure there's no misspellings, that the information that's being put out is correct. But Google, Facebook, TikTok, none of these things fall under that category of being a publisher. So they're not technically responsible for anything that's on their platform. And that's why it's called YouTube, because you can put whatever you think or you want on this platform, and YouTube isn't responsible for it. If anything is wrong, or you go after somebody that's in an illegal way, then that comes back on you, not YouTube, because they're not the publisher. You see what I'm saying? Like, but they're doing the job of a publisher, but they're only doing, it's very biased what they're doing. And if you can't see that and understand that, then I would say look into it a little more. Is all. I mean, that's all I would say. There's plenty of evidence out there that goes really only one way. It doesn't go both ways when it comes to that. It's interesting when you start going down this rabbit hole and you start realizing how much power and influence this one company has. Not only are they influencing things like elections, but they can also influence things like stock prices or certain products. That, again, but that could factor into stocks, but that could also factor into crushing a whatever business it is. They could do it overnight. That's way too much power for one company to have, in my personal opinion. Investory on my TV, your name appears as a boxes? Huh. Oh, well, maybe because of that font that he's using. I don't know. I don't see it. I see boxes with kitty cats after that. Pillowcase. Oh, it's a pillowcase? I thought it was a cat. I think it's cat. Have a blanket rule invade my privacy and send me messages to tell me how to vote, or I have to vote. You don't get my vote. Well, it wasn't for any specific candidate. They were just reminding people that they basically knew how they were going to vote because of things that they looked at online a lot. They would send those people reminders to go vote. Not for a certain person, just, and you wouldn't even realize, because it would just seem like another ad. It's just another ad popping up before a video, or it's just another ad popping up before something that I looked at on Google. Remember, don't forget to go vote. You see what I mean? It wasn't like, go vote for Dan Schneider or go vote for Jim Brown. It wasn't like that. It was just like, go out and vote. Don't forget to go out and vote. It's subtle but effective. What about it? What about me? Dan said it's a cat. Looks like Hulk. Well, there is that is a box shaped. It's a square head. laughing. I don't know what that emoji's about. Investory. Voting's compulsory here anyway. It used to be that way here, I would say 8 to 12 years ago. Now it's different. Things are, and it's not just because I'm older and no, it legitimately, things have changed. I mean, let alone what's happening right now in the Middle East, that I personally think that we should be keeping our freaking nose out of. It's none of our business. Everything that he left behind in Afghanistan is now in their hands, and they're using it. Not only that, some of the stuff that we sent to Ukraine has been sold. Have you guys seen that? They were selling it on the black market to them. So some of the, I think it was rocket launchers or something that were showing up in the Middle East that we know for sure that we sent to Ukraine. That's not okay. We've already sent them $100 and some billion, and they needed more money, so they sold the rocket launchers. Do what? What? It's so, I mean, it just, Anyway, I feel like I don't know, like, look, I'm going to be 100% honest and tell you that I don't know enough to have a stance on anything that's going on. I don't know. I don't know that I even really want to know. I know that I don't want us being involved in it. That's what I know. I don't want us paying for it. I don't want us losing young soldiers' lives over it. I don't want us fooling with it. Just like I don't want us in Ukraine either. I don't think that's where we need to be. I think we've got enough problems of our own that we should be dealing with first. Not how what works. I don't know what's going on with the overseas stuff right now, the Middle East stuff. And again, like I'm not even so sure I really want to know, because it just seems like that seems like an insanely huge rabbit hole that is, from our perspective, living in America, is going to be based on opinion, not based on, because I don't have any ties to it at all. So it would just kind of be my opinion based on things that I've been told by someone else or that I saw online. You see what I mean? Like, I feel like it's not my place to get involved in that. I feel like it's not a lot of people's place. Now, if you've got family involved in it or you're from there, then I get it. Like, that hits home. Outside of that situation, I'd say you probably should keep your nose out of it. Well, okay, investory. I would have to say to you, how do you know that your facts are facts? That's where we get into this whole problem with today's era of everything has been manipulated before you even see it. Unless you're having a personal experience and it's something that you've seen happen, how do you know for sure that that's really what happened? And even with video now, with the stuff that I've been seeing with AI, they have been creating things with AI. Look, the technology that we know about as far as AI is considered, our government has stuff that's 10 to 20 years, maybe more, ahead of what we see. Now think about that. Think about how good what we know exists is, and think that there's technology that's 10 to 20 years ahead of that they've got their hands on. Where does that put it? Where does that put their capabilities of what they can manipulate, that you see, that I see? And you gotta sit there and say, man, I don't know if this is you don't know what's real anymore. Maybe that was their point all along, to get it to the point to where you can't even believe your own eyes anymore. You see a video that supposedly happened, and you can't even believe it anymore because it can be manipulated so easily. And I don't mean editing tricks or anything like that. I mean completely, fully created. Well, I mean, if you're talking about something that you've experienced, that you know the history of, man, again, though, I've got to say that a lot of the history that we've read or been taught was just written by another man, on his perspective. Like, my whole thoughts on that go, a human experience. Me and you are in the same room, and we watch two people fight in front of us. They have a fist fight in front of us. My perspective and my outlook on what just happened might be completely different than what you come up with. And we both write these down as what happened that day. Now, my aspect is completely different than your aspect, but it's facts. To me, that's a fact. I saw it happen. I watched it happen. To you, it's a fact. You watched it happen, right? But it's two completely different sets of eyes on it. And of course, I know you've heard history's written by the winners. Of course, that's the truth. And of course, it's going to be bent towards whoever won whatever conflict it was or whatever war it was. And there's going to be things in that written account or history account that aren't going to be fully truthful. It might not even be intentional. Because a lot of times, just the human experience, the way we experience things and see things, is not exactly really what happened. It's just the way we interpreted what happened. I'm not trying to say that you're wrong in your beliefs, because I can't say anybody's wrong or right. Like, that's not my place to say or do. It gets difficult nowadays. And I think that it's been done like this on purpose. I used to fully believe what I was told until I was, I don't know, probably my mid-20s, maybe late 20s even. I believed everything they told me on the news. I believed these people. I believed the history books. And now, like, I don't know. Like, I know that some of those things that I was told by those news channels, by those history books, like, I found out different. They were wrong. They were absolutely wrong. And that's based on, like, the people that experienced it. So I'm going based on what I learned versus what the people that were there and experienced it. Now that we have the internet, I can actually learn firsthand accounts. But again, that's just a personal account. It gets difficult. Yeah, 20 years minimum. I would have to say that, yeah, like there might be some things that they're only 10 years ahead on. I doubt it. But I mean, I guess that's possible. But it does seem like they're probably I mean, you know for a fact they're holding the best technology for themselves. What that is, we're not supposed to know. Even though we pay for it, we're not supposed to know. Because it's for our safety, it's for our protection, right? That's a good example. The duck fool, yeah. Listening to Hank Williams sing Straight Outta Compton with AI is wild. Yeah, the AI music creation is absolutely bonkers. That stuff, I've heard, I don't know, probably 10 different songs that 100% that weren't possible, like Tupac stuff. Hank Williams, just stuff that the people are long gone. And I don't think I could just, if this would have came out back in the 90s, I would have believed that it was real, you know, or the 80s, the 90s, whatever. Back when I was a kid, I would have fully believed that like that was real, because it doesn't sound like it's created with artificial intelligence. There's no I guess there's no like mechanical sound to it at all. It's very smooth, what I've heard. Yeah, I'm not one to actually believe the government is more competent than the multi-billionaires out there. Well, I'm not one to think that either, but I'm one to think that they probably work together. I think that's a high probability. Oh yeah, there was holograms in the early 2000s. When did they start like legitimately putting the Tupac in? I think it was Tupac was the first one. What year was that? Like 2000. I think they did it in Vegas first. I want to say. I can't remember. They used like a light smoke on the stage, and then they've got the holographic Tupac that dances around on stage and sings it like a concert. It's crazy. The president could watch a unit conduct a mission on his desk, just like in Star Wars. A few decades later, we got the Tupac hologram. Huh? Yeah, so I didn't even read that far into your. I. It was 2012. Okay, I was wanting to say it was like 08 or 09, but so it was 2012. So that's been out 12 years now. Almost 12 years. 11 years, 11, 12 years. I guess it'd be 12 years, depending on when it came out in 2012. Yeah, man. I don't know. The world has continued to surprise me. And I don't know. I'm more confused, I guess you could say. My eyes are more open for certain things, but I'm more confused about others than I ever thought I would be. You know what I mean? Things that I thought that I knew, I don't know anymore. And things that I didn't know, I know and wish I didn't know now. Like, does that make sense? There's a lot of things that I've found out that I wish I didn't know, if that makes any sense. Apparently, the biggest lottery won in the States is $2.4 billion on a ticket from California. Yeah, I actually just saw an article about that guy. I think it was last month. He was in the news now. They're like, I don't know what he's doing to be so public. It's so silly that he's being so public with his purchases. But he had just bought a $33 million mansion, and it was his third one. Third big multi tens of millions of dollar mansion. So he's three mansions deep now. like I mean, I don't know. I guess it would seem like an unlimited amount of money. I don't know that I would go that far with it though, because what you're going to be spending on upkeep, on taxes, on your electric, water, people to take care of the place, like the upkeep, it's going to cost him, I mean, probably $500,000 to $1 million a year just to keep those places. Okay, like times three now, and who knows what else. Whoever won that money is one of the types of people that shouldn't have won it. That is not going to do well with it. It sounds like. Unless he's flipping them properties, he's got some grand scheme, but it's hard to sell a $33 million mansion. It takes a very special kind of buyer to come in and buy a $33 million mansion. What did I? Oh, here it is. Our fishy friends hiding his winnings somewhere. Reading actual accounts from history and not someone's take on it is helpful, but even there is bias from the person doing it. Exactly. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like it's so hard when you start realizing what it takes or what happens for that account to get to paper. That I mean, it's in one way or another, it's going to be biased to a certain extent. And we've got videos from World War II. We got videos from World War One that we can look at and watch. But we don't have like the actual like a camera that followed this guy from start to finish to see what he saw, to know what he went through, and what was actually going on. Well, the commands being given, what the opposite side was doing. You're only going to have one side when you go that route anyway. Like it gets crazy, man, when you start realizing how easily manipulated history can be and has been. Yeah, got to pay taxes and upkeep, and let's be honest, a $33 million house, if you're like, and this is your third huge purchase like this, it's probably going to depreciate some. Let's be honest, with the housing market going the way it's going, I don't see the housing market in the next couple of years really going up. Like, I think it's pretty. I don't think it's going to continue to go up. If anything, I foresee it going down. And we could have a crash like '08. I mean, we're fully set up for that, especially with the interest rates that's been going out for the past over a year and a half. Year and a half. I mean, we're up to almost 9% now, which it's not like that's the highest it's ever been in history, but it is the highest it's been since the 80s. In 1982, the year I was born, we had this huge crash that I've read about. I've read some things, and I don't know what it was like to live through it, but I've heard that it was pretty bad. That was the highest gold and silver had ever been, was back then. And we are heading that same exact direction again. I think silver hit $50 an ounce back then, if I'm not mistaken, which right now I would say silver's 25 an ounce. And if you think about that, from 82 to now, and silver's half the price right now than what it was in 82, like, things had to be pretty crazy. And I think gold hit, did gold hit 2,000 an ounce back then? I mean, that's about where it's at now, I think. But it seems like it hit that back in 82 for a very short period, and then it dropped way out after that. They actually did some real repairs to the economy in the 80s and 90s, and now, like, we're certainly in some sort of weird bubble type situation that could burst. To see these actual, like, large banks completely fail the way they have, like, that should be a huge warning sign to most people that we're not doing all that well. Like, things aren't all that great. Irrefutable evidence, okay, like that's great. How much of that's out there? How much irrefutable evidence that you know can only be one certain way, and not like it couldn't be biased or skewed, or this happened because this happened. I just have to keep an open mind when it comes to certain things like that. I don't know. There's a lot more that I don't know than I guess I ever thought. I used to think that I knew things, that I was pretty well educated in my knowledge, and now I've come to find out that a lot of the things that I thought that I knew, I can't say that I know them anymore. It's not because I forgot. It's because I don't trust some of the data that I used to tell myself that I knew what I was talking about. Does that make sense? I'm not sure if I'm making sense. Oh, infamous yet. If we allow them to start us on digital currency, I mean, that's the end. That's the end of you having any privacy. That's the end of you having any control over your own funds. That's the end. Punch the time clock. We're done. We're done. We can't allow that to happen. That's just my personal opinion. It's not, but I'm firmly against it. 100%. There's already a great option for cryptocurrency if you so choose that you want to have cryptocurrency, and it's way better than anything our government would ever come up with. They do a cryptocurrency, and then they decide, okay, well, you can only have $100 worth of meat this month, or you can only have $50 worth of meat this month. You can only have $50 worth of gasoline this month. You can only travel 30 miles. If you're outside of that traveled zone and you got to use your currency at whatever gas station that's 32 miles from your designated spot that you're supposed to be, they say, well, we can't sell you gasoline. You're outside of your zone. You're outside of your area. These are already things that they've talked about doing and using that for. It's bananas. Crime will always find a way. Always find a way. Yeah, 1913 was essentially the year that changed everything for the worst. There's been a few monumental happenings like 1913. 1913 is one of the largest. Whenever they passed the Patriot Act was another huge turning point. Yeah, you can only have one MRE this month, exactly. Like, and they can put restrictions on it. It's that simple. They can do it across the board, and then whatever few people maybe that they would want to allow more. It's easy to pull out those few people that they want to give extra to. They just blanket everyone. No one's allowed except maybe you, and you've been good. We'll let you get 10 this month. We'll let you have an extra 50 gallons of gas. Or you're not restricted at all. You're one of those. I'm sure there will be some of those if that was the case, but we can't even let that be talked about as being a possibility. That's a firm no way. Which, of course, then we've got the BRICS nations to worry about, guys. Like, I don't know how many of you guys even know about that. Maybe you all do. Depends on how up to date with things you are. But that's certainly something. Probably anybody listening to my voice right now should be worried about. If you speak English, if you live in Canada, Mexico, or here, the BRICS nations is something you might want to at least know about. It's not good for us. It's great for them. Not good for us. I wonder when the January 6th stuff happened if they didn't remember the bonus riots of 1932. I don't know anything about that, actually. 32. 2.4 billion, November 8th, 2022, California. 1.765 billion, October 11th, 2023. Wait, California just gave out 1.765 billion? I assume it was the Powerball, but California is also third largest, 1.586 billion in 2016. And then we got Florida, Tennessee, 1.58 billion. August 8th, 2023 from Florida. So not that long ago. Number 5, 1.537 billion. October 23rd, 2018 in Southern California. 1.35 billion, January 13th, 2023 in Maine. 1.337, July 29th, 2022 is Illinois. 1.8 billion, July 19th, also California. 1.5 billion, January 22nd, probably 2022, I assume. January 22, Michigan. And 768.4 million, March 27th in Wisconsin. The bonus March of 1932, I was shocked to learn about it. Unbelievable that our government would fire on service members. Oh, I've got to look this up. It doesn't actually surprise me, though. Nothing does anymore. Especially if you put the words, our government did, in front of it. Nothing surprises me anymore. They have and will or would do pretty much anything. I've come to realize this. I don't expect anything other than to be shocked by, I guess not really shocked, but probably the better word is disgusted by some of the things that they've done. Can't really think of much good they have done now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, that was a long discussion about current events and where we're at. But again, investor, you know, I don't know what's going on with the Middle East stuff. So I'm not going to speak on it because I don't understand it. I don't understand each side at all. I don't claim to, and it seems pretty complicated to me. I don't know that I'm right about that when I say that, but it's just the way it seems to me. Just based on some of the opinions that I've heard and explanations of how they have come to their opinions or their feelings on the matter. So I try, like, I don't want to be biased towards anything. I would prefer to do whatever's best overall in most situations. There might be a few situations where doing what's best isn't really what's best for everyone. Patton and Eisenhower were part of the break. The bonus March of 1932. So LC, I don't know what you're talking about with the lottery numbers, but it does seem like most of the winners have been from California over the past 5 to 7 years. It's big winners, huge winners. I mean, we got California. California. We got Florida and Tennessee. So let's put them over here. So we got 3-2, and then we got California again, and then we got Maine, Illinois, and California again, Michigan, and then Wisconsin. So Wisconsin's on there twice. No. Illinois is on there twice. California's won the 4 biggest over the past 10 years. They're going to say it's because of the population. Those are the top 10 winners in the U.S. history. I'll think about the 50s and 60s when people with diverse abilities were sterilized. They're doing that right now as children for something as minuscule as having seizures. Yeah, well, they're doing the same thing right now for even less over a kid's opinion. A kid's opinion they're a kid. They're a kid. You can't listen to a kid's opinion and do anything that would physically harm or change them based on an opinion. You can't do it. Yeah, but it's happening, and it's happening a lot. And I've seen some really disgusting things. One of the leading surgeons was sitting down having a Skype interview, and the things that he was talking about, like, I can't talk about here. I can't say the things that he was saying. That was shocking. Some of the things he was saying, and he didn't have a bit of shame about it. Not like no remorse. It's bad. It's bad. We're in a bad place right now. Kids are kids. Let them be kids. Like, stop this, like, influencing them with ridiculous stuff. I'm infamous. I will look up the bonus March of 32. But all right, guys, I know I've been on here too long already. Next weekend, I don't know. I might pull up a live stream here in the next, well, sometime this week. Gabe is supposed to be coming in, so we might do something out in the middle of the woods. If I've got a signal that's strong enough, I might use it. I'm going to finish my food. I'm actually hungry again. I've got an appetite big enough that I feel like I could finish that. So, well, let me look down at this. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for hanging out. Sorry I've had to do this number the whole time because, again, my chat is completely, just totally screwed up. And thanks to my patrons. Thank you guys. Thanks to everybody who's came and watched. You know what? I didn't see Miss Marilyn tonight. I've got to check on her. Shoot. Okay. Definitely got to check on Miss Marilyn. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys stopping in. Dan, LC, Investory, the Duckful, which is a new name to me. I'm Infamous. That's also a new name to me. Tim, not a new name. Good to hear there. Dan, of course, from Australia. Cyanide Cookies. But all right, guys. I will sign out of here by saying thank you guys for watching, and I'll see y'all on the next live stream. Later.